The Vertex is in the sign of Pisces at 11 degrees in the 7th house. I do not talk about the Vertex as often as I should. However, I have had a change of heart. The Vertex in astrology literally reveals destined events. There's an astrologer I admire, and her name is Carol Rushmore. She is no longer with us. However, she refers to the Vertex as your destined promise. The main theme of this week is many are called, few are chosen. So imagine that first day of class or work, and you have the usual welcome aboard meeting. Usually that welcome is on a bulletin board of some sort. Well, to address those who have accepted their destiny with the Vertex in Pisces at 11 degrees, the energy here is ruled by the moon. Look into your progressive Vedic astrology charts to find where you may have Cancer and or 4th house placements. If you look and don't find it or have it, you may have a zodiac sign within a Cancerian ruled decan. This would be like your first assignment, like receiving your classes and having to find your class on campus. If you want to imagine, this being like your first day at work, imagine looking for that Cancerian energy as like you were trying to find parking. Anyway, within this Cancer ruled decan with the Vertex, the energy is independent, reserved, reclusive, strong-willed, introspective, unique, and genuine. When we place this energy in the 7th house of superficial values and desires within relationships, enemies, and business, you should energetically become and or identify as being a loner. Just think about it. When you are in class at school, cell phones are away because you're busy learning and paying attention. Everything from the outside world is silenced. When you are at work, especially at stricter establishments, cell phones are away because, again, you're busy working. The outside world is silence. When I worked for Bank of America, I had access to very sensitive information like people's social security numbers, home, business addresses, debit and credit card information, and I knew where they had been for the past 7 years. Cell phones, even smart watches, were strictly prohibited. I essentially had no access to the outside world, friends, family, or foes. Side note, even though most of our foes are in the workplace, but again, this is just an example. Personally, in my progressive Vedic astrology chart, my sun sign is now in the sign of Cancer in the 9th house. I was born a Gemini in the 9th house, and most of you know I used to be very social, distracted, and open with all of my knowledge. Since I have progressed and accepted my calling, you all now notice that I'm no longer posting publicly on YouTube anymore. Everything that I do is on Patreon and or on YouTube members, where most people refuse to invest. I just recently cut off my twin flame after a brief reunion, and my homebody having ass has increased to another level that I didn't think was possible. I feel bad when I do not respond to the select few people who have my number, whereas before I was giving immediate responses. This energy will not manifest equally the same. However, it should be very similar, especially considering the Vertex is in Pisces with the Cancerian undertones being placed in the 7th house of people. Now, to address those who have not answered the call or showed up to work or class, depending on how your imagination wants to process this information, they will be experiencing moodiness, overindulgence in sex, food, and drugs. And that strong will with this degree that this degree offers means that these people will remain stubborn and unwilling to show up for themselves and or you. They will remain stuck in their ways and overly generous with their energy. Again, the Vertex is about destined promises. Some are literally destined to stay the same. However, that doesn't stop God from extending an invitation to heal. Pisces energy is all about healing, loving unconditionally, and introspection. The undertones of Cancerian energy indicates forgiveness. So like I said, many are destined, but we do have the power to change our destinies to some degree, no pun intended. If I do not quit smoking, I am destined to suffer from lung cancer. If a promiscuous individual does not stop freely giving their sexual energy, they are destined to contract an STD or have multiple children, or worse. If you do not show up or perform at work, trust you are destined to get fired, and so forth. Energy is fluid. We are all presented with the same energy, but some will choose to adopt the negative by vibrations, whereas others will choose to ascend higher. Just like we can miss opportunities or be at the wrong place at the wrong time, that's destined. For some reason, Kobe Bryant has been on my heart lately. He was destined to die in the airplane crash. However, he could have avoided it if he simply didn't board the plane. Granted, I am speaking in negative terms, but it is all the same when you are destined to fail, but somehow change something that, or some, you, when you are destined to fail, but somehow change something that, you may change that destiny. I don't know why I wrote it like that, but anywho, you change that destiny and become successful somehow. 50 Cent was destined to get shot 9 times and die, but he fought that destiny and now is one of the wealthiest men in the world. You see? And excuse me, I'm not sure why I was stuttering a lot with this placement. But again, to reiterate, this is the Vertex in Pisces at 11 degrees in the 7th house.